today's morning power call. I want to make sure the audio is working. I know I had some issues with the audio yesterday or the day before. I want to make sure, and I had some issues setting my stuff up this morning, so I want to make sure the audio is working before I dive into this wonderful morning power call, which we have live. We have live today. Happy to gather everyone together. It's always fun to see who shows up to these calls. I know that audio is working. Sweet, we're good to go. I know that you guys are busy. You guys have a lot of good stuff in your day. I'm glad that you guys come and join on this call, or at least catch the replay so that you can get the current insight, the current perspective that's going to kind of rip you out of where you are now in your life and drag you kicking and screaming sometimes all the way to the future where you're making money, where you're doing and bigger and better things. Now, you guys can probably guess I'm like, 4 days into a war mode that should have only been 2 days. But I'm here. I'm bringing some perspectives, and I've thought a lot about today's lesson for you guys. Today's insight is something I think is going to be crucial. Before we go too much further, yesterday I added new Step Zero content, so that Foundation for Success content where I talk about the campus and the cultural values. I refilmed all of that and had that added in. I'm curious if you guys found that helpful or useful. I know it's new content. It's kind of focused on that transformation you have to have if you want to become it's the foundation for what the person you need to be if you want to be successful in copywriting. So much of my success in copywriting came from my ability to manage myself and present myself and act as let's call it a G, someone who took complete responsibility for his life, someone who believed he could do anything he set his mind to, all that stuff, the physicality. So much of my success and my ability to learn and become proficient in copywriting came from that. So that's why I lay it as the foundation there for you guys. But I'm curious, how many of you guys watched the new stuff? How much of that has been useful? Let me know in the chat. So I'm going to take a look. I'm curious to see what stood out for you. What was the most valuable of those videos? That kind of stuff. I'm just curious. I did wear the Neo shirt. The one that you guys all talk about is like the Matrix type shirt, which was kind of fun. Okay, cool. So you guys liked it. That's good to know. At least the people that show up these calls really, really like the videos. Okay. Excellent. So let's talk about today's lesson, today's idea. Yeah, and again, before we do that, I'm currently working on the Step 2 content. That's my biggest focus. But I saw so many people in the campus lacking that foundation. I was like, I'm going to crank these videos out. I already know what I'm going to say. I know everything that needs to be said here. I'm going to say it. I'm going to get that out. So I got it cranked out for you guys a little bit earlier. So yeah, I'm glad it's been useful. So let's talk about today's idea, this difference between stories and facts, and which is going to make you the richest, right? And this is sort of a continuation. This is like a part 3 of the kings versus peasants, because this is one of the mindset shifts between kings and peasants. This is one of the difference between people who make it and people who don't. In life, there are feelings, there are facts. There are stories that we tell ourselves, and there are facts. And whenever the feelings or stories come into contact with facts, they get destroyed by facts every single time. Stories and feelings are these soft little things that are ethereal. They're like these little puffs of smoke. Facts are real hard concrete stuff that just blast through any kind of these like soft little empty things in the world, right? Feelings and stories will not make you rich. Like the stories you tell yourself, the lies you tell yourself, the reasons why, blah, 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 you tell yourself, they pale in comparison. They mean nothing compared to facts. There's only action and inaction. It's a binary, did this happen or did this not happen? Is this true or is this not true? At the end of the day, those are the things that give you the ultimate foundation to win, right? Your bank account doesn't care if you felt tired this morning, or if you were upset because someone did something, or it's just been really hard for you to learn this because of whatever condition in your life. The world doesn't care, right? Your bank account doesn't care. Results don't care. Facts and action is what matters. So a lot of you guys fall victim to it. It's the human way, right? This is what we've been raised to do as young people, right? You go to a school, or your parents, especially like your mother, which we all love our mothers, but they care about your feelings, man. They really do. They'll coddle you. Oh, it's okay. I love you so much. And they just don't understand who you, like all those stories. You can, we say that, I can kind of start to list these out, and we all laugh because we know that's completely not true. But if you catch yourself thinking, you'll realize that some of that like coddle the little baby kid language has crept into your own brain. You start to notice that when you encounter difficulty, When you're staring, I don't want to do my push-ups today because I trained my legs, I did a lot of whatever, yes, chest ribs, chest day, little things like that. We tell little lies to ourselves. As humans, little stories about why we didn't get what we want or why this didn't happen, why it's all okay. And those lies will keep you poor. Those are how you justify failure. And it's what peasants do, man. Peasants you tell a little lie, oh, if I've been born this way, or oh, the world is just set up like this, blah, blah, blah. People say these little stories. They have these little reasons why they're failing, and they'll put so much time and energy into justifying their failure or justifying why they haven't done what they needed to do, when in reality, none of that matters. If you truly want success, if you truly want something, if you want to make money in copy, if you want to become a skilled copywriter, if you want to make money in copywriter, if you want to, as a copywriter, if you want to land clients, if you want to have successful outreach, you have to stop telling yourself stories for why it didn't work. It's probably just my niche. They probably just weren't in their buying window. The stories you tell yourself when in reality, deep down, on a fundamental level, like on a fact level, that there's something missing. Probably even guess. Most of the time when people are like, hey, I don't know why my outreach isn't working. This, whatever. I'm like, really, why do you think it's not working? And they'll give me all of the reasons that I would tell them. Right? I'll look at, sometimes, every so often, they'll send in their outreach and the Ask Professor Andrew channel. They'll be like, Andrew, please take a look at my outreach and tell me what you think is wrong with it. And I'll be like, sure, but first tell me, what do you think is wrong with it? And have you tested out any of these new improvements that you've identified in step 1? And they'll come back and they'll be like, yeah, you know what? I knew what was wrong with it. I fixed it and I sent it out to some people. And now look, I've got a new prospect. I got someone I booked a call with. I actually knew what it was the entire time. Deep down, you can cut the bull crap. You can cut the stories. You can cut the feelings. You can cut the justifications. You can cut the excuses out of your life, and you can analyze the facts and you can attack the facts. It's an uncomfortable way to live life. Kings don't sleep that well. Genghis Khan tossed and turned in his bed thinking of a place he needed to conquest and people he needed to fight and the challenges he had to overcome. Peasants can lie down and sleep really easily at night because they've got their lies, right? When you pull the stories away, when you pull the feelings away, and you just confront the facts of what actually is compared to what you'd like it to be, that's where you actually gain freedom to actually move it. You've removed the fluff. You've removed all the loosey-goosey, abstract, vague stuff, the stories you tell yourself, and you now have power to win. So guys, I want you guys to analyze your life. I want you to look at the results you don't have in your life, the things that you want, and ask yourself, what lies have you been telling yourself about why you don't have it? And what have you been telling yourself? Oh, this, that. Identify the lies and stories you've been telling yourself. Identify the facts. Identify what is, and then decide what actions you're going to take to achieve what you want, right? And then hold yourself accountable for those things. Set a daily standard, set a weekly standard, and don't allow yourself to do anything but achieve that standard each day. I'm telling you guys, if you want to become a good copywriter, I can teach you all the cool tactics. I can teach you how to write. I can teach you how to trigger this emotion, how to trigger that emotion, how to write this headline, how to do this close. I can teach you all of that, but it matters absolutely zero unless you can manage your own mind, unless you can cut through all the stories and excuses and lies you tell yourself and embrace the facts, embrace what is, and then take the action that will give you the results that you want. That is absolutely key. And it's foundational for success, right? And there's a lot of things in this campus, a lot of the cultural things that I do that are probably uncomfortable that are along that same line. People come into the Ask Professor Andrew channel, and I hold the standard. If you don't ask your question like a G, if you're just trying to outsource your thinking, or if you haven't checked a foundational resource, I'll call you out on it, and I'll have you go and try and find it, because I want to help you cut through the ambiguousness, cut through the lies you tell yourself, take more power into yourself and win. I want you guys to win. And because of that, I'm gonna hold the standard, and I'm gonna help be the person that helps you cut away those lies and stories and excuses you tell yourself, and cut straight to the facts, so you guys can actually win. My friends, it's been a good call. I'm excited to talk with you guys again tomorrow. I've got a lot of good stuff to give you guys inside the campus. Got probably a few more mini lessons coming out today. And we should, by the end of next week, have all of the videos for the Step 2 content filmed and probably edited and released to you guys. So we've got some fun things in the works. I'm excited to talk with you guys tomorrow. Let's go out, let's get it, let's conquer.